Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to share my January book haul with you. I am being very intentional about the books that I bring into my life. So these are all ones that I'm super excited for. I received for a gift. I picked in book boxes. I went to the book exchange and picked up. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So I will start with a couple of books that I was either gifted or picked up at the book exchange. The first one is London is the Best City in America by Laura Dave. It's a short little book. I have really enjoyed, I think it's 2 or 3 books now by Laura Dave. I always end up rating them 4 or 5 stars. I have one other one on my TBR and I'm hoping to add this one as well. It should be a quick read and she's become an auto-buy author for me because I haven't had any duds yet. So I found this one there. Don't know anything about it. Didn't even look it up on Goodreads. I just know that Laura Dave has never disappointed me so far. So I picked it up. On the back it says, Emmy Everett is reluctantly heading home to New York for her brother Josh's wedding. She has spent the last 3 years in a fishing town in Rhode Island, and having little to show for it, she doesn't particularly want to answer the questions she is sure to face about her ex-fiancé, her questionable career choices, her unknown future, but she is still shocked when her typically resolute brother Josh confesses he is having doubts about his imminent marriage and asks Emmy the hardest question of all. What do I do now? So what I mean by I didn't look it up on Goodreads, I solely picked up books that pulled me in. I didn't look up to see what other people thought because that doesn't really matter to me. I read the back of the book or I knew the author and I was like, okay, let's do it. So I'm really excited to have this on my shelf now. And then hopefully I can read both of Laura Dave's books that I have on my TBR now very, very soon. All right, next up, I received Convenience Store Woman from Summer. It was part of our Fab 5 Christmas exchange that we did. And I have already read this book, but it takes place in Japan. It's about this woman working in a convenience store and kind of loving that life, loving that job for herself. But people around her are a little skeptical, a little like, is this all your life is going to amount to? And she's very good at her job. So I absolutely love the story, but it does take place in Japan. And my neighbors are from Japan and I had let them borrow it. And then they recently moved back to Japan and took 2 of my books with them. So I ended up putting this back on my wish list and Summer saw that I had it there and she was like, is it okay if I send you my copy? I didn't want it anymore. So she sent me her copy and I'm really appreciative. So thank you so much, Summer. Also, I received this from Gabby from Gabbing About Books, The Housemaid Secret. This is the 2nd book and I'm really excited to see where the story goes from here because the first book really at the end kind of did leave you like, wow, what is going to happen from here? So I'm so glad that there is a sequel. I'm looking forward to getting into it. I love Freida McFadden's popcorn thrillers. Do they leave lasting impressions? Are they the best literary masterpieces? No, but I do so love popcorn and I love popcorn thrillers. And then of course I had to buy myself the 5th volume in the Heartstopper world. This is supposed to be the last volume, but for some reason, I don't know if it's a rumor or if I'm making it up in my head trying to manifest it, but I've heard that there's going to be more, but I don't think there is. So this is Nick and Charlie. They're in love, but what happens next? And I just love this graphic novel series so much. I love the show. And I'm just really looking forward to finding out, where they are now, what's going to happen, all of that fun stuff. All right. I also, from Summer, this is the book that she bought me like specifically for our Christmas exchange. I had a feeling she was going to get me this book. I went to the Barnes & Noble sale, like where they had like the 33% off or 30% off, whatever it was. And I almost bought this, but I was like, but wait. I think Summer might get me this book for Christmas, and she did. It is The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer, and I am so excited about this. I was hesitant. I'm not gonna lie. I was hesitant because a lot of people were saying it's fantasy, and I don't know, I wasn't hearing the buzzwords that I need to hear. So I was definitely letting other people, and I haven't fully read the synopsis myself. So I wasn't, and I don't like that much books within books, to be honest. And I know that's pretty rare, but I don't really usually like that. And then Jordan from Sorry Book Solid, one of my absolute besties, read it, and she said it's not really fantasy. It has magical things in it, but it's more like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This ended up on so many people's best book of the year list. It was on some of my patrons' best book of the year. So I am just really excited. The little blurb here on the top says, years ago, a reclusive mega best-selling author quit writing under mysterious circumstances. Suddenly, he resurfaces with a brand new book in a one-of-a-kind competition, offering a prize that will change the winner's life. Make a wish. And I do love books about games and competitions, and I also would love to read an adoption story because a lot of my brother and sisters are actually adopted. So I think I'm really gonna love this, and I think it's really gonna hit me in my feels. All right, for my in-person book club, we read or are reading Divine Rivals in January, and so I actually like that a lot more than I thought I was going to. I was basically just reading it for the hype. I do have an entire vlog on my channel reading that book, but after that, I had to continue in the duology and read Ruthless Vows. I haven't read it yet, but hopefully soon because I'm excited to see where the story is going. I'll be completely honest, didn't really like the gods, the like understanding the mythology of them and stuff like that. I just, in my head, I pictured a normal war, and I loved the romance. That's what I was in it for. So I'm really hoping that I like this conclusion. Fingers crossed. I also I bought this for myself. I bought this for Jordan for her birthday. So I hope we both enjoy this one. All right, next up, as you guys know, Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin is my favorite book of all time. And if a book is compared to it, I'm going to give it a shot because I need to weigh in and let you know if it actually is comparable. And I've just heard really good things about this book. It is chunky, but y'all, I have been tackling my chunky books this year, and I'm so proud of myself, and it's only January. But I'm talking about Wellness by Nathan Hill. And I really honestly don't know too much about it. I know it was an Oprah's book club pick. I know it's chunky and heavy. I know it has multiple viewpoints, but it says, from the New York Times bestselling author of The Knicks, a witty and poignant new novel about modern marriage, the often baffling pursuit of health and happiness, and the stories that bind us together. And then the main couple, Jack and Elizabeth, they meet as college students in the 90s, and they quickly join forces and hold on tight, each eager to claim a place in Chicago's thriving underground art scene with an appreciative kindred spirit. So it kind of reminds me of how characters met early on in Tomorrow, 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 and then they went through kind of life together. So I'm hoping that it does have similar vibes, or even if it doesn't, I just hope I really, really enjoy this one. All right, going into some more books that I got at the book exchange, I found Throttled, the first book in the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. I think this was her first series. I have been reading the Dreamland Billionaire series. I've read the first two books. I'm in the about 150 pages into the third and final book, and then I have started the Lakeside Billionaires, the first book in that Love Redesigned. So yeah, I'm just hoping to go back. And it's funny because this is about Formula One racing. You have Maya and Noah is Maya's brother's best friend, and I think her brother is actually featured in the second book. I don't know. It's a whole thing, but her universe is all collided and all the characters are mentioned. And I just need to be in the know. So I'm looking forward to going back and hopefully reading this series as well. I was only able to find the first book, so I'll keep my eyes open for the other books in the series as I visit the book exchange throughout the year. I also found Adrift by Lisa Braidu. This is a book that was recommended by Jordan from Sorry Book Solid. I picked this up. She said it has an ecological, but it's more of a, oceany, beachy, tropical kind of thing. A sailboat in the remote Pacific Northwest. And it reminds me, I even told Jordan, after I read the synopsis and stuff, I was it kind of reminds me of Migrations a little bit by Charlotte McCulloch, is that the author's name? But it kind of reminds me of that, but that takes place in the Arctic area, and this obviously does not, but it kind of has the same vibes. It says, a taut page-turning thriller full of apocalyptic tension tempered by warm human connection. Wow. that sounds amazing. It says, a galvanizing riddle that is just as unmooring as it seems. This sharp, character-driven odyssey explores a future challenged by our quickly changing world and the choices we make to save what matters most. So I'm looking forward to reading this, probably in the summer. All right, I also finally picked up the book of the month copy of Happiness Falls by Angie Kim from the Book Exchange. I was avoiding it at all costs towards the end of last year. When Jessie came to visit, she was like, there's a copy, there's a copy, there's a copy. But I was like, no, girl, it's a book of the month copy. And I am not doing that to myself. But now that I have all year to read my book of the month copies, I went ahead and picked up a copy. There are so many copies of this book there, but I've heard so many great things about this book. I've heard it can be a little dense. It does have like footnotes and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem to have like too many. So I don't know. I wasn't like a super fan of Angie Kim's first book, but I'm hoping that this one is good. She always has like some kind of unique representation in it. She did in the first book. I'm sure she does in this one as well. And it kind of reminds me of, there's another author that does that. Sally Hepworth does that. So I'm really looking forward to this. Sometimes the answer lies in what's unsaid. When a father goes missing, his family's desperate search leads them to question everything they know about him and one another. A riveting page turner and a deeply moving portrait of a family in crisis. So I really look forward to reading this hopefully soon. I'm going to try to do a few, well, more than a few book of the month and aardvark vlogs throughout the year. So get hyped. All right, the last one that I found at the Book Exchange, I saw this on the shelf and I was like, what is that? And look at the cover, you guys. It's like a shadow box. Can you see that? I think that is so cool. And it is the selected works of T.S. Spivet, and it's by Reef Larson. And this is about a young boy, I think he's a genius, that's into cartography. When 12-year-old genius cartographer T.S. Spivet receives an unexpected phone call from the Smithsonian announcing he has won the prestigious Baird Award, life is normal, if you consider mapping family dinner table conversation normal, is interrupted and a wild cross-country adventure begins, taking T.S. from his family ranch just north of Divide, Montana to the museum's hallowed halls. For some weird reason, I am just like into cartography. I think I started when I read The Cartographers by Pink Shepherd. I really liked that. And then shortly after that, I read another book where cartography was mentioned, and just ever since then I've been really interested in it. This book has a ton of multimedia in the margins, so it looks like a much chunkier, lengthy book. It has like footnotes and stuff, and not really footnotes, just like notes in the margins. All kind of illustrations and drawings and diagrams and maps and, you know, just all the things. So it's only like 300 and something pages. It's under 400 pages, and it is available on audiobook. So I figured I would go ahead and give this one a go. I'm just really excited about the subject matter. This is another one that I specifically, when I went to the Book Exchange, I saw it, I read it. I was like, ooh, I'm wildly interested in this. I didn't look up what anybody said about it. I don't care. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to reading this, and I think it would be a fun vlog to do, like sharing all of the things. So we shall see, but nonetheless, I'm looking forward to reading it. All right, the next set of books that I bought, I actually bought a boxed set of the Hunger Games original trilogy and the Songbird and Snakes, the prequel to the trilogy. I have been talking to my in-person book club. I specifically have been talking to Jackie. She was like, yeah, I'm rereading. And then of course the movie Songbird and Snakes just came out and everybody's been loving that. And then I was like, man, I really want to just read the original trilogy and then finally read this one, because I have read the original trilogy. I have never read Songbird and Snakes. So I prompted my patrons if they would be interested in doing a springtime read along for the books, the 4 books, and they were on board. Some of them have never read The Hunger Games. I am flabbergasted that some of them have never read The Hunger Games. but we are going to correct that. I have the 4 books. I'm very, very excited, and yeah, we're going to start that in March. So if you want to join our little read along, like I said, we're just picking up 1 book a month, and we're going to be chatting about it, doing a little live show, and I'm going to try to watch the movies. I'm going to propose to them trying to watch the movies. I'm going to try to just buy them on DVD, so I just own them. But okay, and then last but not least, I have some books that I picked up in some book box subscriptions. Let's start with Aardvark, because I got 3 very fun books. All right, the first one on the stack is Sugar Baby by Celine St. Clair. This is about a sugar baby. She has a friend that kind of introduces her to the lifestyle. You have Agnes, a mixed race 21-year-old who seems to be heading nowhere. And then her friend, Emily, kind of introduces her to this extravagant lifestyle. Tasting menus, champagne on taps, glorious hotels with unlimited room service, designer gifts from dates who call her beautiful, and on the story goes. Then I picked up Rabbit Hole by Kate Brody. This is about a father who dies and his daughter that he leaves behind. Okay, it's hard to describe. 10 years ago, Teddy's older sister Angie went missing. Her case remains unsolved. Now, Teddy's father Mark has killed himself. And unbeknownst to Mark's family, he had been active in a Reddit community fixated on Angie, and Teddy can't help but fall down the same rabbit hole. So her sister died or disappeared or whatever, and the father was trying to find out like what's going on. And then when he kills himself, she kind of was like, oh, dad was into all this, like, you know, Reddit rabbit hole. And then she kind of falls down the rabbit hole. So it sounds very, very interesting. And then my last book from Aardvark is Where You End by Abbott Clear. And this is a twin story. One wakes up with amnesia and she sees herself reflected in her twin, and then her twin's telling her stuff. But it's like, is what the twin is telling her actually what happened? So those are the ones that I got from Aardvark. Now let's go into the 3 that I picked up from Book of the Month. My main pick was First Lie Wins. I've been hearing really good things about this, trying not to let the hype get to me. I just know it's a fast-paced popcorn thriller. Evie Porter has everything a nice Southern girl could want: a doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight group of friends. The only catch, Evie Porter doesn't exist. So looking forward to that one. I also picked up Only If You're Lucky by Stacey Willingham. This is the March Sleep When I'm Dead pick, and I've also read Stacey Willingham's previous 2 books, and I just really enjoy her writing, so I'm looking forward to reading this one in March. And then last but not least, I got The Mystery Guest by Nita Prose. This is the follow-up to The Maid. I really enjoyed The Maid. I'm hoping I love this one too. This one has been out for a while, and I haven't really heard like anything about it. Like The Maid was like an instant sensational hit. And this came out, I think it was like November or December of 2023. And I just really haven't heard anything about it, but I'm looking forward to reading it. So that concludes my January book haul. Lots of fun things to read in 2024. Let me know which book you are the most excited to hear my thoughts on, and maybe I'll make that happen. Other than that, go ahead and leave the key emoji down in the comment section down below, just in case you don't know anything else to say. But I hope you're all having a lovely day or night, and I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye, friends.